All right, if you clicked on this video, chances are you are currently writing a song, want to write songs, or having trouble finishing a song. You're in luck. Today, I'm giving you 6 tips to help you along with your songwriting process. And before we get into it, let me introduce myself. My name is Angel Leone. I've been writing songs for more than a decade. I've helped local musicians with their songwriting process, whether that be lyrically, melodically, or just the overall structure of a song. And I've written in different genres ranging from Christian contemporary to singer-songwriter to rock to even rap. And I'm not the best songwriter by any means, but I've learned a tip or two with the years of songwriting that I'd like to share with you today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Tip number 1, having a list of quotes. Every day you and I consume information, and if you are intentional with what you're consuming, you can draw inspiration and find quotes that speak to you. Now, whether that be from a book or from a podcast or just having a conversation with someone that's wiser than you, if you're intentional with the things that you're listening to, you will find quotes to draw inspiration from. And not only pulling from the outside world, but also things that you're feeling internally can be great quotes and one-liners within a song. I just released a song called Sunflower Petals, and within the song, I used a lot of lines that described what it was that I was seeing, what I was feeling, that I believe led to a pretty good song. All of the adjectives that you write within these quotes can be great one-liners within a song and can help the listener connect with what it is that you're trying to convey. Whether you write it in a notebook or a piece of paper, or do what I do and I just go into my notes app on my iPhone and just have a list of quotes. And the thing is, not all of the quotes that you have need to be amazing one-liners. In fact, a lot of the ones that I have listed aren't that great, but it's almost like having the perfect puzzle piece. And even if it takes a little bit of tweaking, you can make that puzzle then fit to complete your picture. Tip number 2, draw inspiration from the songs that you enjoy, then find your sound. Now, it's often been said that imitation is the best form of flattery, but I'm not saying that you should go out and steal someone else's song. What I am saying is you can draw inspiration from different songs and use that for yours. And these elements can be different for everyone, whether it be the way that someone's singing, the elements and instruments that they have within a song, or the tempo of a song. You can use all of these different elements to find your sound. The best example that I can use of this is if you're wanting to write a prog rock song, oftentimes you'll find that they have syncopated kick and bass parts, they'll have chugs, different things that you can draw inspiration from. Likewise, if you want to write a catchy pop song, you can focus on simple chord progressions and stacks of vocal layers. And this is easier than you might think. When I say the name Ed Sheeran, what do you think of? Probably an acoustic guitar and loop pedals. When I say Billie Eilish, what do you think of? Probably think of massive vocal layers and whispers. When I say John Bellion, probably Ableton and samples and really punchy drums. Draw inspiration from the people that you listen to and find your sound. With enough reps, you will then find things that kind of define what it is that you want to sound like. Tip number 3, have variety in your songs, i.e., tempo, style, and complexity. If a movie was all action, it wouldn't be interesting. And if a movie was all monologue, it also wouldn't be interesting. But when you combine the two, you now have something that's entertaining and catches the viewer's eye. And that's the same concept that you should use when writing a song. We should be looking at our songs in different sections. Do I want to have a strong intro and a quieter first verse? Do I want to build the entire song until the final chorus? This can be as simple as removing or adding different instruments within different parts of a song. If you've looked at any great band who stood the test of time, most of them evolve in their songwriting. They change it up with tempo, complexity, and sometimes the style that they play in. Tip number 4 is ambiguity is okay. Your songs don't need to be about a specific topic. Sometimes I've sat down to write a song and I've tried to narrow down what it is that I want that song to convey. And when I've done that, I've often found myself getting caught up on the small details lyrically, which then don't allow me to finish the song. An example of this is I have a song that's called I Will Believe. I released it back in I think 2023, but originally that song had started off as a guitar part and me singing about basically nothing. The song I wrote when I was on a vacation in Mexico, and the initial name of it was called Blue. I didn't know what I wanted to write about yet, but I had the idea of a melody. I knew that I had to get the idea down and later it would take a deeper meaning. And in fact, At a later point in life when I was struggling with my faith, the song became a vessel for me to elaborate my thoughts. So don't feel like you need to broadcast a grand message with every song that you write. Number 5 is understanding that you will write bad songs. I know that the analogy has been used a million times by songwriters, but when you first open up a tap that hasn't been open in a long time, the water that first comes out is muddy and dirty and unusable. But as the tap continues to run and that water continues to flow, the water will begin to clear and you'll have something that you can use. Writing bad songs allows for the good songs to eventually come along. Not only does writing bad songs allow for you to move on in your inspiration, but there have been times where I've gone back to these quote bad songs and pulled elements that I really liked from them and used them in songs that I love today. And it's rare for someone to be good at something on the first try. It often requires repetition, so don't be discouraged if you're not good at it at first. Or even if you've been doing it a long time and just have a bad day, you have to keep that tap running. Another personal example of this is a song I wrote called A Prodigal Prayer. It essentially was 2 different songs that I had written at the time that I wasn't super thrilled about. The first part of the song I had written in a darker point in my life, and the second I wrote as I became a new dad. Neither one I was super thrilled about, but when I put both of the elements together, I was able to write a song that is connected with a lot of people and is probably one of the most enjoyable songs that I've ever written. The 6th and final songwriting tip I've got for you is to be ready when inspiration strikes. Inspiration strikes at any time. Inspiration waits for no man. Have the tools ready so that you can capture inspiration when it happens. I've gotten melodies stuck in my head when I was half asleep, and I've had to pull out my phone, go to the voice notes app, and try to sing that melody into my phone as best as I can. And sometimes those melodies are absolute garbage, but sometimes those melodies have turned into some of my favorite songs I've ever written. Kind of going back to the list of quotes that I talked about, have your tools ready so that when you do hear that quote, you can write it down and not forget it. As fast as inspiration strikes is as fast as it leaves. If you're not ready for it, you'll miss it and you'll forget it forever. And those are 6 songwriting tips. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Follow me on Instagram at @TheAngelLeone. Listen to my music on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever it is that you stream music. Thank you so much for watching. Keep writing songs, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.